Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Fencer Princess, SoundCloud, SoundClick. It's your boy Tone 202. And I'm not going to be talking about sports today. Man, it's cutting the grass. I'm going to be talking about, I had to switch the game up because YouTube is flagging all my sports stuff. And I know that's why most of you guys are here. I'm still going to do those videos. It's just that I'm not going to be putting a lot of effort into them, and I know they're just going to flag them. You know what I mean? I do like when you guys send me stuff, though. Stuff you really want to talk about. So that's probably what I'm going to do, but I had to switch the game up. But I wanted to talk about something else because there's different cities that people live in, of course, and, people represent the city, and people are moving to and from these cities, and I just wanted to talk about some of my experience. And, with some of the places I've lived in and some of the countries. One of them is Akron. I was born in Akron, Children's Hospital. Lived on the west side, Copley, where my dad used to live. He worked at Goodyear. 36 years, retired from it. He don't live there no more. My aunt and uncles lived on Hardesty. So, my fam's from there. My mom's. You know what I'm saying? Mom's. What's up to moms? You know what I'm saying? Mom's good. She was a great cook. Mom's was a great cook. But, so basically, I didn't grow up there, though. You know what I'm saying? I didn't grow up there. My stepbrothers and sisters went to Buchtel. You know what I'm saying? So, but I didn't grow up there. As soon as I was born, and I mean as soon as I was born, my mom dipped. You know what I'm saying? She dipped out. And we lived in Pittsburgh. I'll get to Pittsburgh next. But what happened was I wanted to, know about Pops, so I went back to Akron once I got older. You know what I'm saying? You want to know about Pops, and he wasn't hiding. He's like, I'm right here. So I got to know him, and I lived there for a while. I lived with him for a while, then I lived on my own. And here's my experience living there. This was a long time. This when I was 26 years old. I'm 49 now, so this is a while ago. But this was the movement that was happening in Akron. This is back when the beepers was out. And people had these big old heart monitor looking beepers, But it was a huge, huge drug dealer city. Now, I just met somebody from Akron recently, and she moved from there because of all the craziness that was going on there. And basically what happened was it kept going downhill. She was like, I just moved from there. A lot of bad stuff happened. I couldn't take it anymore. So it just all, it still went downhill. But like I said, it's just my experience, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I don't suggest anybody move there, but, it is what it is. So basically while I was living there, I had, I worked at little jobs. I worked at Ponderosa. Ponderosa. I worked at a nursing home for a short while. I was a cook. So I was a cook when I was in the service, before the service, and when I got out. So it's easy to find a cooking job, just never paid too much and was never appreciated. But, so as far as the job market was concerned, it's like, you can find a job, ain't gonna pay you much. But you can get a little apartment. The rent there wasn't crazy expensive. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's Akron. The thing about Akron is a small, big town. Well, not exactly a big town. It's still a small town. But, you can get from one end of the city to the other one pretty easy. The rent is pretty cheap as far as when I lived there. They had a little university there, so that's cool. So it's not a considerably bad place to go if you're trying to bring yourself up and do something. But if you're looking for the wrong people to be around, there's a lot of them in Akron. And I mean a lot of them. Like, you will get into some big trouble in Akron if you're looking for it. Because the drug dealer scene was so crazy. It was so crazy. And these boys and women, they did not hide. They wanted you to know that they were the big drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? Which was just asinine to me, and I never understood it. I never understood why you want everybody to know you're the big drug dealer, but it's all status. You know what I mean? You want to be that person, that go-to person. But of course you're not. You're not that go-to person, because there's always somebody bigger than you. And then one year, I was living there. Basically, what the police did was they raided everyone. They pretty much put out an APB on every single big and small time drug dealer there was. And a couple of them I knew. A couple of them I was cool with. You know what I'm saying? A couple of them I was cool with because I worked with them. They worked at the same restaurant. And some of them I lived around. And and that's just the point. There were so many of them. It wasn't like you couldn't run into them. And what surprised me is there was so many of them. It was everybody was in on it. And it was like, why is this small city so inundated with drugs? Well, it's because it's a central hub. For one, it's Ohio. It is the Midwest. For two, people usually don't expect a place like Akron to be, for that market to be flooded. You just don't expect it. Three, anybody could get into the game easy. It was just an easy thing to get into. It was like, here it is, go out, boom, do this. Like the people who were working every day was out getting busy doing the same thing. They was all making money. You know what I mean? They was all doing that. I couldn't do it. I was a regular working stiff like everybody else, like most people. You know, even though I knew them, I wanted to keep my head down. Some of it looked tempting. So when you lose your job, you're like, dang, I need to do something. But I was always able to pick up another cooking job. And one day, a dude I knew, real cool brother, man, but he was a dope boy. We was at work one day, and he was telling me, about what he did and all this other stuff, and I never saw him again. I never saw him again after that day. It's like he disappeared off the map. He never came back to work. Nothing. I never heard from him. I never seen his car. Nothing. He was gone. And I don't know whether he died or not. I'm hoping he didn't. But what I did know is that he never came back to work. Never. And there were a lot of lives being lost over drugs. People were becoming more and more vicious. And like I said, they wanted people to know that they were like this. And this is why I wanted to get out of there. Because it's one thing if you flipping, whatever it is, okay, that's what you do. But when you're going out and just doing people dirt and harming them on purpose just to make a name for yourself, I got an issue with that. I got to get away from here. And like I said, I was never a D-boy. I was never, but you couldn't, nobody could ever help but being around them, So I worked for TGI Fridays, and I transferred to Columbus, Ohio. It's crazy because when I got here, I met somebody from Akron who was a D-boy.